Welcome to another episode of Familiar Faces. Now don't let the title card fool you. Today isn't one of those two-character episodes. In fact, what makes today's episode special is that the two girls before you are actually one and the same. That's right, it's Connie from Nickelodeon's Doug and Disney's Doug.
How about a hand for our own Connie Binge?
When Nickelodeon first ordered original programming, Doug made history as one of the first 3 Nicktoons ever made. In fact, it was the first. Yes, I know a lot of us like to think that the insanely funny anti-epic known as Ren and Stimpy was the first Nicktoon ever, but Doug actually made it out of production first, due to a lot of delays on Ren and Stimpy. I know, what a shock. Anyway, let me give you a little background on Doug first. Doug's roots begin with an unpublished children's book called Doug Got a New Pair of Shoes. Creator Jim Jenkins later recycled Doug when he was commissioned for a series of grapefruit juice commercials in the 1980s. Because when I see this, I want a big sweaty glass of grapefruit juice. Drink grapefruit juice. You'll become a balding, big-nosed fashion retard. That's right, people. Doug killed the grapefruit juice industry. The dream was over. Eager to destroy another budding industry, Jim Jenkins turned his attention to Nickelodeon, and Doug joined Ren and Stimpy and Rugrats as the first Nicktoons. Now I realize there are some among us that are a little sensitive about this topic, and I will try my best to avoid any painful
I need a homegirl's voice whispering in my ear. Doug. Yo, Mr. D to you. Dougie D.
Sorry, couldn't resist. After all, they have the same haircut. But there's something I need to say. I have the same first name as Patty Mayonnaise's father. He's a minor character, so I never get approached about it. And he's blonde, has a golden tan, and is covered with muscles. And despite losing his legs, he hasn't lost a love for his daughter or life, and continues to inspire those around him. I, too, have been tortured by this show. Moving on. So, the show is about this guy and his new life in a new town with his new friends. First, there's Skeeter Valentine.
Skeet. You know what's so dope about skeet? White people don't know what it means yet. When they figure it out, they're gonna be like, my God, what have we done?
Then there's Roger, the local bully, who doesn't seem very good at bullying at all.
I have a good feeling about this. Well, if it isn't Funny Face and his comical sidekick, Mosquito.
Then there's Patty Mayonnaise, the girl that somehow seems to be good at everything, except catching a hint when it's 2 inches from her face.
I had a really good time tonight, Doug.
Yeah, me too. You know, your grass is really springy.
Yeah, they water it a lot.
Yeah, water it a lot.
What are they doing? What? I said, what are they doing now? God damn, I'm getting so sick of answering that question. You're a fucking rifle. I can't see shit. Don't bitch with me because I'm not going to just sit up here and play with my dick. Okay, look. They're just standing there and talking, okay? That's all they're doing. That's all they ever do is just stand there and talk. That's what they were doing last week. That's what they were doing when you asked me 5 minutes ago. So 5 minutes from now, when you ask me, what are they doing? My answer is going to be, they're still just talking, and they're still just standing there.
No, so you have BB, the rich girl, Judy, Doug's artsy older sister, Chalky the jock, and the twins Alan Moo. Let's see, that's everyone I can think of. Well, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Familiar Faces. Strange, I wonder why this episode was so short. Oh, sorry, Connie. Yeah, that tends to happen sometimes. You see, Connie wasn't all that involved in the show. She was sort of a face in the crowd. I mean, literally, she spent most of her time as a background character. She's also what we call a professional pipe layer. And no, that's not as filthy as it sounds. Laying pipe is a term used in writing for when one character makes a statement that moves the story along or provides new information for the main character and audience. Statements like this.
Hey, guys. Maybe you two should sign up to dance.
Oh no, where did he go now?
Swim team practice.
Occasionally, they dusted her off when they needed a third girl to interact with Patty and BB. By the way, what's happening right now is a fantasy. Yeah, I forgot to mention that the big part of the charm of Doug is that he has more hallucinations than that kid from Sidekick. And oddly enough, both tend to fantasize about athletic southern blondes with possible sexual overtones. Anyway, they also use her when they need an over-emotional reaction for something.
We worked so hard and offered nothing.
Look, they made Connie cry.
No!
Wonder what's under the goofy hat.
Connie just got a bad haircut. She didn't even want to come at all. Sweet not to do what?
Not to do this.
I'm a man!
You grow up, you big baby!
Excuse me.
Oh, what's everybody staring at? Let's party!
And that's why I remember Connie. Well, that and it was implied that she had a crush on Doug.
Dear Journal, it was the day before the Bumpkin Day Hoedown. Well, that's the one dance of the year when the girls have to ask out the boys.
Go with me?
Bet you can't guess who I was hoping would ask me. Her initials are Patty Mayonnaise. Hey, here she comes.
Good luck, man. Doug, today is your lucky day. I have selected you to go with me to the Bumpkin Day Hoedown.
I can't go with you, Connie, because, I have to take care of my sick, cousin. His name is Melvin. He's, sick, very sick.
Okay, ignoring the fact that I can't figure out if your borderline obsession with Patty is out of naivete or just because you're creepy. You're like 15. Play the field. So anyway, Doug lies to Connie in order to get a date with Patty, but it backfires in his face when Patty and Connie show up with flowers for the non-existent Melvin.
Hello? Doug, are you there? Doug?
Skeeter, we need a Melvin, fast.
What's up, whore biscuit? Could I get a hug?
Oh my God, it burns! It burns!
Well, settling for someone less stabby, Doug gets his sister Judy to act like his sick cousin. But Judy goes apeshit and acts like she's suddenly cured. Why? No real reason, other than it gives Patty an excuse to do this.
Then maybe you'd like to come to the Bumpkin Day Hoedown tomorrow. I'm looking for someone to go with.
I don't think Melvin's all that well, Patty.
Oh, but I am. I'm well. If you're going with Patty, then Doug can go with me. That's great. The four of us can go together.
So now Doug's sister's on a date with Doug's biggest crush.
Nice.
The rest of the episode is played out as you can imagine.
Melvin, you're Judy.
Where do you get off having tits?
Except for the fact that neither Connie nor Patty are upset when they find out Melvin is Judy.
Patty, I'm sorry about the Melvin thing.
Oh, Doug, are you kidding? Melvin is the best dancer at the hoedown. Come on, Patty. Let's show these bumpkins how to do-si-do.
I'm sorry, Connie.
Yeah, all the other guys I asked turned me down. And then you lied to me like that.
What? I thought you said I was your first choice.
I did?
So yeah, it turns out this episode was a huge landmark for the series. Both Doug and Connie grew closer together from that point on. Doug not only learned that you shouldn't lie, but also, if you focus too hard on something you want, you just might miss out on something even better.
There you are, baby. Come on over here and show my buddies your nice fat ass.
Yeah. Bang. That's a nice fat ass.
Actually, none of that ever happened, and no one learned any lesson at all, really, and Connie remained an incidental character. That is until Disney's Doug. Yeah, that's right, at the end of its run on Nickelodeon in 1994, Jenkins took Doug to Disney TV studios, and if you think that's unusual, it was actually pretty standard practice. After the original runs of the first Nicktoons were over, other companies didn't mind picking up on those series that made Nickelodeon a huge success. But since those kids are grown up by now, the idea was to make the cartoons appeal to older audiences. For example, Ren and Stimpy was sold to Spike TV, formerly TNT, and in 2003 we got Ren and Stimpy's Adult Party, which focused more on sexual escapades rather than insane ones. It was cancelled after 1 month. I know, what a shock! There was also a planned spin-off for Hey Arnold called The Batakis, because if you actually watched the show, you may have noticed that Arnold is the biggest MacGuffin in history. More on that later. Anyway, this series comes back with all the kids a little older. The town of Bluffington has changed, and so has most of the designs and situations. For example, through some shrewd negotiating, Roger's mom made a ton of money off some property she owned. So a big theme for this series is Roger dealing with his new status. And by the looks of Patty's new design, it looks like she's still dating Doug's sister. A more understated change, but still quite noticeable, was Connie.
Next stop, Connie Benjes. One thing's for sure, I can always count on her to be exactly the same. Oh, hi. I'm looking for Connie Benj.
You're so funny, Doug.
Connie? You look different.
Thanks, Doug. I just got back from camp makeover.
Whoa.
What do you think of the new me?
That's right, Connie's story is that she lost a lot of weight at camp over the summer. Now, she doesn't say what kind of camp, but it's a bit obvious. Hey, Connie, what'd you do this summer? Well, my parents tossed me in the backwoods, where I slept in a cabin held together by paper clips and chewing gum, and where the size of my waist directly affected my value as a person. What'd you do this summer, Doug? Started up my series again with Disney. Well, zippity-doo-dah-fucking-day! I wonder if he still gave her that invitation. Well, it wouldn't be the first awkward portrait. What the hell, Proxitiles? Where are my arms? Well, Aphrodite, they kinda just fell off, you see. Well, this is just ridiculous. And where's my clam? Well, they said you couldn't be totally nude, so I added the, oh, you meant the thing you ride on. Yeah, in this version they made Connie a bit more confident and talkative. And someone at Disney must have really liked Connie, because she's still the only female character that doesn't look like her limbs are made out of pipe cleaners. Then, just to jazz it up a bit, they gave her a new interest when they made her something of a giftbox diva. But after you hear her, you can tell this may have been a bit of an afterthought kind of thing. I guess the toxic waste that changed everyone's skin color also eroded their eardrums.
That's disgusting.
So yeah, in one, actually the only episode dedicated to Connie, she becomes infatuated with winning a local music contest, neglecting her studies and annoying the crap out of her friends with her random songs.
Great song, Connie.
Yeah. Great.
And if that weren't bad enough, Roger, using his newfound wealth that I mentioned earlier, decides to become Connie's manager. Does Connie really need to wear that outfit? Well, since she's dropping out of school, I thought it'd be best to cover all of our bases. If she wins, I'll still be her manager. If she loses, I'll be her pimp. So, Connie performs at the contest, and for some reason, people love it. I swear this is some kind of satire on Bjork or something. Anyway, just when it looks like she's gonna win, Skeeter, Al, and Moo show up with their monster hunting contraption. Yeah, I forgot to mention, in this series, there is some running plot thread about Skeeter hunting a supposed monster in the nearby lake. Every other episode showcases his hunt. I know, sounds like a reality show on the Sci-Fi Channel.
I heard what? Something's making a sound outside the shack.
Okay, just breathe. You're doing great.
There it is again. I can't make sense of all of these sounds. I mean, I'm just like...
I'm freaking out in here.
Back to the subject, Skeeter wins the talent show by inventing auto-tuning, and a depressed Connie falls off the wagon.
I lost to a big goofy horn. What's to say? More fries.
But you came pretty darn close.
But faster than you can say serendipity, in walks Connie's idol, former Beats band member, Flounder.
You! I did everything your card said to win! I even quit school like you!
My card say to quit school?
Not exactly, but you quit school.
Love.
Love. Anyway, if you're gonna rock and roll, what's the point of going to school?
Flounder. F-L-W... F-L...
F-L-O-U-N-D-E-R. Can't you spell?
Okay, so you see what they're doing here, right? They're trying to make the point that school is important, but this is re-damn-diculous. He can't spell love or his own name. I mean, when did he drop out? The 2nd grade? Now, don't get me wrong. Illiteracy is an issue, and I have empathy with those who have that as a burden. But this guy is supposed to be a high school dropout, which means he should have at least learned how to read and write. Besides, he's a rock star. I think there might be another explanation for his impaired brain function.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
But seriously, kids, education is important, so stay in school. If you don't, you won't be able to point out the bullshit in these second-rate morality plays. So Connie goes back to school, and she even talks Flounder into pursuing his education by taking band class. Something he already knows how to do, so enjoy that pointless ending. From that point on, Connie faded into the background again, but I still consider her an interesting character. You see, Connie is like the barometer of the show. If you want to see the differences between the two series, just look at her. One is quiet and maybe just a little bit frumpy, but she's still very sweet, playful, sometimes bold, and very endearing. The other may have the heart in the right place and looks a bit more attractive and enthusiastic, but comes off way too obnoxious sometimes with over-the-top antics and generalizations. And it's rather rare to see that change in a character, especially this kind of series, making her very special. And there you have Connie.
You bastard! I'll kill you!
He comes flying through the bathroom door with his ass on fire.